paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
The parameters are you're in an open field. The eagle starts 100 yards away from you.
Okay.
You have only on you is a plain white t-shirt and denim jeans. You got underwear on. We'll say you got underwear on. No socks, bare feet. The eagle, you know where the eagle starts. You can see it when you begin. And it has to fly towards you, and like it has to make an approach at you. That is the rules of engagement.
Okay,
you have
so
no tools, no
it
weapons.
can't come at you from the sky. It can't dive bomb you.
You know where it starts, so it could dive bomb you if that's what it chooses to do.
You watch it take off. Then it's not going to surprise you.
Right. This is like a fair fight.
What are the odds that if the eagle is coming at me, I can sort of dodge roll at the last second and make it miss with the Talon Strike?
Right, but like you have to kill the eagle before it kills you. Like that's the plan.
But then it just lands.
No, because it doesn't have to land again. It can circle back around. I think the worst thing you can do is lose sight of the eagle. The worst thing you can do is like fuck up your first interaction, because once you don't know where it is, it has the advantage. Some people say take off the shirt and like use that to try and grab it. I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Like a plain white t-shirt's not going to stop you from getting gored.
No, but it's a really good like blindfold. It's a really good. Yeah, you can disguise your own movements with that.
Right, or you can also just bundle up on your gut so you don't get clawed out as much either. Like, that might be part of the move,
or put it around your arm and just try to sacrifice your arm to the talons.
It's a tourniquet after the fight, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a real element, too. Again, survival isn't necessary here. The goal here is to kill the eagle before it kills you. That's all that actually matters. What do you think is the
most embarrassing animal that you would give, like, even odds to?
An angry enough chihuahua?
Oh, man. A toy breed of dog?
Maybe.
But imagine like a poodle fucking you up.
Dude,
I wouldn't even go to the hospital.
I think small cat is up there. Like,
I feel like a small cat is something I couldn't lose to if the rules of engagement were similar, where like I know where it starts. If it can sneak up on me, I could maybe get like my throat clawed out.
I think a mountain lion is probably. I think I would probably do better against a mountain lion than I think I would. Because I hear lion, but I don't hear, like...
I think...
Humans have killed those before.
Yeah, a mountain lion is if, like, a dog or if a cat was the size of a dog. That's it. That's a mountain lion.
Right. Mountain lion is firmly in the, like, you might kill it, but it's probably going to kill you, too. You just might do it first. And to be clear, I'm talking about you, Jason, the person, not all of humanity. I'm sure there are people out there who are, like, pretty favored against a mountain lion.
You don't think I'm favored against a mountain lion?
I think you're a dog in that fight, yeah. Sorry, bud. Buddy, your profile picture here on Discord, because you didn't turn your webcam on, is...
Yeah, I did.
It's Guy Fieri. No, you didn't.
Oh, shit.
It's Guy Fieri. And, like, I don't think Guy Fieri could take a mountain lion in a fight. Oh, there he is.
You think Guy Fieri is worried about a mountain lion?
Only
because he smells like barbecue sauce. Guy Fieri just hangs out in kitchens where he just smells like brisket all day. Like, of course.
Are you saying you don't smell like barbecue sauce, Jason?
Jason, your camera froze. Jason, you still there, bud? Your camera froze.
That's honey mustard.
It's different.
It's different.
Is the mountain lion allergic to honey mustard? Have we calced that?
Fuck, that's how we just have to slather ourselves in honey mustard and walk around until we find a mountain lion. Guys, I think we should start a new series of Mythbusters called Can I Take That Animal in a Fight?
But then we would have to prove it. Or DJ would dress up like the animal to do a reenactment.
No, we just slather Corbin in honey and see if he can take on a black bear.
We couldn't get a real Pennsylvania Nittany lion, but we did get the Penn State University mascot costume, and we put DJ in it, and he's going to fight Jason. We taped kitchen knives to his paws to make it more of an accurate fight, and Jason's covered in barbecue sauce. DJ has a deadly allergy.
Can we just sacrifice Corbin to a mountain lion, please?
Corbin thinks he can fight a cow.
He thinks
had this conversation, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
Corbin could
thinks
beat
he
a cow
could do
if the
He's
cow
got to do the fight. He's the only one that's horny for it.
Corbin could like tip a cow and then kick it in the head till it dies, but like not a cow that's angry or that like knows
No,
he's
his
there.
logic is like, I would just sweep the leg. That's what he thinks.
Has he ever seen bullfighting? Oh my god. Corbin really is the dumbest person on this cast.
What do you mean, really? What was it close?
Sometimes the perception's close, yeah. We all could sometimes be the dumbest person on this cast, Jason.
DJ's right there.
I know, it's tough.
No, like we can't all be the dumbest person on this cast. Of every one of us can have a moment where we are as dumb as Corbin.
Yes.
Exactly.
Who died. He's not here.
Corbin's dead again, by the way. He got
died
gored by a
again.
mountain lion.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh. I thought the cover story we were using is that he died fighting a mountain lion, but go off.
Oh yeah, he was choked to death by a mountain lion. The mountain lion took his pants off, covered his balls in Astroglide, and strangled him to death. It was crazy. I can't believe the mountain lion did that. But according to the coroner, that's what the mountain lion did.
And the mountain lion's name was Mario Mangione.
Hey! I just love McDonald's so much.
That dude's definitely a patsy, right? Like, no shot
He's
that's actually the guy.
Be. The guy got to New York 10 days early by bus and, like, used an electric bike untraceably and shot him with a ghost gun and left shell casings at the scene. And then he went to Altoona, Pennsylvania to hang out at Mickey D's and sign autographs. I
Wait,
Imagine
did you guys know they changed the name of Kaladesh?
What are they calling Kaladesh now?
Avishkar or Avishkar? Avishkar.
Why
I
is
think
Kaladesh
that's
racist?
Amonkhet and Kaladesh became one plane or something.
Why did they change the name of a
Because the
plane?
Death Race set takes place on Amonkhet, Kaladesh, and one other place.
No, it's not Kaladesh. It's they changed the name. So it's Amonkhet, Avishkar, and Muruganda. In the recently released Planeswalker's Guide to Aether Drift, the plane formerly named Kaladesh is now Avishkar. There's an in-universe reason for the change, and the real-world reasons are, like, Hindi language respectfully, something, consultants.
Why didn't they change it to Karladesh?
Here's what our consultant said. When we created the original Kaladesh set, we chose Kala as a word that can mean tomorrow or art, combined with Desh meaning home or country. Unfortunately, the term Kala can also be associated with the meaning of black and often carries derogatory, colorist, and racist connotations when applied to a person.
It's probably fine to change it. I don't know. I'm not sure that anybody cared ahead of time, but also I think it's probably a positive change.
Yeah, sometimes that happens when you put two things together. Like the company I worked for that did like these ocean tours, kind of like a bus tour on the ocean. So they're like, well, we're on the sea, right? And it's a bus. And they should have gone with Sea Bus, but they went with Bussy as the tour company name.
It's a real Bussy situation.
Yeah, and they're like, it turns out we didn't know that Bussy is actually also a term for a sea bus. We just wanted people to think there was tight, delectable boygina here.
Jesus Christ, Jason, I hate that. I hate that.
Was it delectable or was it tight? You hate the tight part.
I hate all of it, Jason.
Yeah, so that it can happen. Sea bus should have been a winner, but I came up, if I had an hour to write something, I would have written something better. Okay, so if we ever did show notes, I could have come prepped, but no, you made me do improv.
This is a no Corbin episode, so that means there's no show notes. Let's talk about Magic a little bit. I have something to say. I got something to say about Standard.
All right, let's hear it.
Is this the episode start?
Oh yeah, our cold open was us talking about the Eagle fight again. It's a callback.
Nobody listens to this podcast anymore, so it's fine. We can do whatever. We don't have to. Let's say the name of our podcast and our name's up top. No.
Listen, at least one person listens to the podcast because they give feedback in the podcast feedback channel, and that person is keeping us all alive right now.
I get a decent number of people at every event I go to that appreciate all
Yeah.
of us. And I want to say I appreciate all of the people that appreciate us.
I didn't want to
Also, I
record
just
the cast
keep-
this week.
What?
I thought we were recording yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I didn't record the cast this week. I missed it. And then you guys said, we're getting on today, and I was like, God.
I'm actually
Right.
excited to record the podcast now, mostly because I no longer care if it's good, and I just talk. It's great. That said, I got some thoughts on Standard. This is going to be some real, like, your deck sucks, but I'm on it.
Okay.
I think that this Teamer Floodcaller Otters combo deck, dog water. I think it can't beat an opponent with a pulse. Now that said, has a decent amount of success. The only people succeeding with it are total sickos, just like people who are so good at Magic. Deck's bad, I think. I wouldn't play it in a million years. Number 2, I think this mono white token control deck, miserable. Fucking, what's it called? Caretaker's Talent? That card is not on rate in a front where your opponent's playing Glissa on turn 2 off Lawn of War Elves. What are you going to do? You're going to level up your thing and have it die? No.
I thought Caretaker's Talent was worth money because it's a commander card.
It also is a standard card. The third thing, why are people playing these Slick Shot Show Off Boros Charm burn decks when the Gruul Prowess deck with the mice is just so much better? Like, your opponent plays a Manifold Mouse and you just die on the spot. Stop playing bad decks, people. Kaito, way better than everyone thought. I was right about that one. Thank you. That said, I'm going to be playing the most mediocre deck for most of the season. I'm going to play Golgari because it's just Jund at home, and that's what I'm about. That was my standard rant. I think a lot of the decks are bad, and I think that all the decks that are good are just like mid-range piles or the good aggressive deck.
Are other people also playing bad decks because that's their personal affiliation? Is that their Jund at home? Is it
Almost
fine to
certainly.
just play like Teamer Spell Slinging because like they just want to pretend like they're playing Jeskai Ascendancy or something?
Yeah, for sure, people are doing that. The problem is Jund at home is just kind of always good in standard, right? Like removal spells plus the good threats. Like, I'm playing Jund at home because it's the good choice. To be clear.
Isn't
let
that
me be
also
clear.
what people say is I'm playing this because it's my favorite and because it's the good choice?
The thing about me is it's my favorite because it's the good choice.
I'm just asking questions here.
Uh-huh. The devil doesn't need more advocates, DJ. Stop advocating for bad combo decks in standard.
I'm
I'm going to lose
advocating-
Teamer Floodcaller at my next event, and it's going to be totally deserved.
I'm just gonna advocate for a good podcast. That's all I'm advocating.
We are 10 years too late for that one.
Yeah. Maybe we should have had show notes. I'm on a lot of cold medicine right now. I'm so excited to drive to
We
work.
don't need show notes when we have listener
JJ.
emails to go off of.
Yeah,
And
JJ.
I am very glad that we have this email. I'm a little sad that Corbin's not here. For those who don't know, Corbin is dead this weekend. He finally got taken up on that challenge to fight a cow, and he got I think the kids are calling it beefed, but he's not doing so great.
Beefing is a new trend in the Midwest. Are your kids beefing? Find out at 11.
Can you do that in an iced tea voice?
Man, are your kids beefing? Back in my day, we used to squash the beef. It wasn't personal, it was business. But now these kids are beefing for real. Out in the streets, out in the fields. Man, it ain't business no more. This is personal.
If you're gonna beef, then you need a beverage to go with it, and that is where our listener email comes in. We have an email that we received last week that I am very excited to read. I'm especially excited that Jason is here to listen to me read this. $20 Patreon email question. Dear Brew Crew, I am pleased to have been a long-time listener, and I've recently been thinking of how important fun can be when calculating EV for a decision. So the expected value for those who are not in the know to what EV is. I was wondering what the crew's thoughts were on my favorite beverage and what the best EV may be. Now, Jason, you're our beverage expert here. Maybe you can provide some insight. Sure, I'm going to go with that as our headcanon. I am a huge fan of milk. I drink it with every meal and with my snacks at night, but milk has gotten quite expensive due to inflation. I'm going to move this paragraph over here so I can read Jason's face as I read this email, or watch Jason's face. Below is the cost of the milk options I have at my local supermarket comparing 1 gallon of 2% milk. Store brand 2% is $3 and a total calorie count of 2080. I would say it tastes on average slightly below the. I'm just watching your face get more and more disappointed. It tastes slightly below average than the name brand milk. Organic 2% milk is $9 in a total calorie count of 2080. I personally don't like organic milk too much flavor-wise, but the healthiness of the milk does provide some value. Oberweis milk, 2% milk, is $6 and also 2,000 calories. I really thought it would be higher than the others since it tastes the best by far. Dean's milk, 2%, I don't know what Dean's milk is $4 and also 2080 calories. I don't know why they put the calorie count like that. It's the same for all of them.
I mean, expected value for like dollars for calories is a real thing to calculate here. I have some advice.
But all
at the
four
end.
of these options are the same number of calories.
We got to clarify that they're all the same number of calories.
And now I think Dean's milk tastes great and is my second favorite and flavored to Oberweis. Now I drink 2 gallons of milk a week throughout my various activities, so it can add up. Below is a cost breakdown for each brand. And so if he's spending it per year, he's spending $312 in store brand milk, $936 in organic milk per year, $624 in Oberweis milk, and $416 in Dean's milk. Now, originally, I wanted to analyze the amount of calories in each brand, but Oberweis is the only outlier with a marginal difference, so that wouldn't be useful. Okay, so he did address the caloric issue. I personally want to note that the value...
I included all that information, and then I included more information about why I included that information, even though I didn't use that information. I could have made this email shorter, but why do that when you
Jason,
explain
you
why
have a
it's so
STEM
long?
degree. You should know how this works.
Guy's trying to fucking pad it out to get to the fucking 10-page limit so he can turn in the
Yeah,
report.
man.
I get it.
I personally want to note the value I get out of drinking Oberweis milk is non-zero, and it does affect my decision-making. What is interesting is Dean's milk is only an additional $100 over store brand, and while it does taste better, I'm leaning towards wanting the savings of store brand over taste. And while I value the organic milk's environmental effects and health implications, the taste and cost are too much of a deterrent to ever purchase the milk. I mean, like $1,000 a year on milk for one person is a lot.
That's a lot.
So for me, it's between
$100.
So for me, it's between store brand and Oberweis. Now, I do think I often consume enough milk when I have cereal for breakfast every morning, and the impact of flavor improvement to the cereal that Oberweis adds is limited and is a high cost to flavor ratio. But on the other hand, about half the milk I consume is strictly plain from a glass as a beverage, and the value Oberweis adds is massive. I think the best EV would be to not only purchase Oberweis, but to get 1 gallon of each to mitigate the cost of Oberweis while still providing me milk for cereal and food. I'll keep the store brand milk to use as additive, and Oberweis is the purely beverage option. But honestly, I can see arguments for a few different ways, so I'd love the input from the cast on what they recommend or choose for their milk purchasing habits. Sincerely, El Lechador, sent from my Nintendo 3DS.
I have 3 pieces of advice for you. 1, drink less milk.
Yes.
2, 2, don't worry about the cost of the milk. Just get your money up and buy the one that you want. If you like milk that much, like, give up a little bit of your budget literally anywhere else. Like, if my favorite food was, like, I don't know, corn, I would buy, like, the nice corn and not like the canned corn if I needed to. Like, I would pick and choose. There's got to be something in your life that you like less than milk, and it seems like you like milk more than everything.
And more than anyone.
3, the entire email
Cavs
was
don't like
you...
milk as much as you.
Listen, the entire email was you trying to get us to tell you to buy the Oberweis, the one that you like, and you should. You should buy the one that you like. Also, you can't do this because of the amount of milk you drink. Drinking 2% milk is psychotic. The only reason to drink milk for me, whole milk with a dessert. A little bit of whole milk with a dessert, that's nice. That's pleasant. I'm not going to drink a bunch of it. But really, go back to point 1. Drink less milk. Just like for your own good, probably.
You don't
buy the
have
one
to
you
do
want,
it.
though. If you're going to do this, buy the one you
milk.
want. Thank you so much for being a $20 patron. Do not give up the money there. That is a crucial thing you need to live.
Lunatic. No. You don't need to drink a cow's milk. You're not a fucking cow. The dairy farmers are the dairy farming lobby is who told you. Remember those Got Milk commercials? That's them just all getting together with their milk money and buying a commercial and they go, oh, my bones will crumble if I don't drink a cow's milk. You're just like, no, you don't need the calcium. It doesn't do a body good. It won't make you stronger.
You have the opposite of osteoporosis.
I'm so sorry. Why are we letting dairy propaganda affect our lives this way? Stop. You have been brainwashed by Big Milk into consuming a product that's not in sync with evolution. Humans are lactose intolerant.
Now,
What do you
Jason,
think
if
Corbin's
you,
response to this is?
well, that's
just
you
add
should
it
buy,
to
you
the
should buy the
drinking
budget.
milk because he ate
Corbin would
one
buy
tortilla chip.
Corbin would buy the cheapest milk and drink that much every week, for sure. Also,
I like how
Jason,
the guy answered his own question. He's like, what should I do? I thought about getting cheap store brand for cereal and then getting the good stuff for when I drink it.
Here's
And I
the
was
real
like,
advice.
That's what you should do.
The real advice
Who's
is
that?
the difference between the one that you want and the cheapest option is like $300 a year, right? I guarantee you there is something you can do with a small amount of your free time to make $300 extra.
That's
Get
60
your money
cents a
up.
day.
That's
right?
a weekend of door dashing.
Or 60 cents a
That-
week.
that's
I mean.
a single weekend of DoorDash, and that is, you know, you pick up an extra quarter off the ground every once in a while and you're halfway there. Like fully, if milk brings you that much joy, you will find the space in your life for the good milk. And there is no indulgence in life worth putting off to tomorrow. There is no better reason to celebrate than being alive today. So you drink your 2% milk. You drink your $6 a gallon 2% milk, the Oberweis, the German milk. You drink it and you live a good life because you deserve it. Get your money up.
I miss these kinds of emails.
We're talking $1,000 a year for like a Vice.
Yeah,
I spend that much on
Vice
gambling
costing
every
that
day.
Little. I know, right? I spent $1,000 at the strip club one time, and I don't even go inside.
and the milk there is way worse.
Yeah, it's skim. That's how strip clubs are saving money. They're like, there's a buffet, but it's like a school lunch buffet with like a carton of milk and a styrofoam tray.
Okay.
You get your cardboard pizza while getting a lap dance.
Yeah.
I will say, the cardboard carton is the optimal way to drink milk if you're going to drink milk, though.
Yeah.
Like, it
You
has
lap
the right
dance till you
vibes.
finish your green beans.
Partially because it's self-regulating, right? Like you grab one carton and that's you're not like getting a beer glass of
Right. There's a Chinese buffet near me that I don't go there very often anymore. When I used to go there, I would go to the dessert area and they have little like, it's like clearly like a Costco style cheesecake they just cut up into smaller pieces. And I'd grab like 2 of those and I'd grab one of the cartons of milk. And I gotta say, that much dairy after just like a heavy buffet Chinese meal, always a mistake, but I always did it.
It's not a mistake if you like, you're just like, this is gonna happen, and it's I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you can make a conscious decision, know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Let's help this person extract that $300 with some breaking bulk picks.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
It's true. You break some bulk, you can afford all the milk you want, big boy.
You can drink your Ubermensch milk or whatever.
It's Oberweis, first of all.
I have a green Bloomborough Uncommon.
That was my secondary pick. It's a Paw Patch formation. $3.
Nope.
No, it's something his Roca pulled.
This card is like roughly 50 cents.
Oh.
Star City sells it for $1. TCG Direct is $1.
It's
Card
green?
Kingdom is $1.29.
Green?
I pulled the other uncommon that's worth more.
This
I
card
feel
might
like I
be a
should-
standard card, I don't know.
Is it Overprotect?
Is it Overprotect?
It is Overprotect.
Oh.
Nice.
Overprotect
I got a
is
combat trick too. That's funny.
1 in a green instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. That is a lot of words for 2 mana.
Yeah.
That is heroic intervention, but kill you with it. Like that is.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
This is my guy, and I want him to live.
Yeah, card is. You can biolist it for anywhere from $0.25 to 33 cents. Run that in your milk EV calcs.
So to tag along to DJ's breaking bulk, the one I called out was Paw Patch formation, which was I was gonna be my second breaking bulk if y'all got my first one too quick. Card's like $3 now.
I have never seen this card before in my life.
It is a very versatile standard sideboard card. Sometimes it's in the main deck because it can just cantripped. Bloomborough just continues to be a treasure trove of cheap commons and uncommons. That
we've come so far on like standard playable air quotes sideboard cards from Naturalize.
Yeah.
Like, gone are the days of I need to sideboard this thing for artifacts and enchantments, and my non-creature permanents are safe in the game one. Like this just blows up so many things, or it 2-for-1s you at worst. Like I remember what a braid was like. Oh my god, you don't need to sideboard.
Yeah, I know
Shatter?
a braid. It's like having a command for 2 mana.
Yeah, Braid saw legacy play for and vintage play for a long time.
It's such a card, and now it's sort of like people don't really play a braid anymore. It kind of sucks. Doesn't have enough modes. It only deals 3 damage for 2 mana.
Untimely Malfunction saw play in Vintage Champs this year.
Of course it did. That card's awesome. Untimely Malfunction rules. What a magic
My breaking
card.
bulk this week is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan blue uncommon.
Is it the 1-mana 1/1 flyer that explores?
Yeah, Spyglass Siren. It's like $1.
I'm
Card is
proud of myself that I got that.
Yeah. Card sees play in both the
just
Dimir
described
midrange deck and the Jeskai Convoke deck. 2 great standard options that are not bad, unlike the Team Marauders deck, which I think is stinky. Had to get one more dig in there.
Deck is stinky?
Stinky.
This
Jason, what you got for us?
segment's going faster than it normally goes. Hopefully I can trip you up with this. Assassin's Creed White Common.
Is it the Tax Collector guy?
No.
I was gonna say that any number of cards in this deck, Templar Knight.
No.
That was the one I...
Wait,
I don't know any other cards in
the
that
card
set.
you also said?
That
Yeah,
is
I
a
think-
pick, though. If those are in your bulk, you're a moron. You're beyond breaking bulk's help. If you left this card can have, or a deck can have any number of this copies of this. If you leave that in your bulk, like, this podcast isn't going to help you. Or you should go
I can
back and
think
listen
of
to episode 1.
No other cards from Assassin's Creed exist in my mind besides
This
Rest
is
in
a
Peace.
$2 combat trick.
Is it Smokescreen or Smoke Cloud or whatever?
Battlefield Improvisation.
I was wrong.
Target
Isn't
creature
that
gets
a,
+2 until end of turn. If that creature is attacking, you may attach any number of equipment cards to it.
Oh, that's a Captain America card.
It is a Captain America card.
I don't know why, but I thought this was a Lord of the Rings card. I think the artwork tripped me up. It's like a little...
It's very Lord of the Ringsy.
Yeah.
The Fallen had no more need of their weapons, but the living could still make use of them. That's a Lord of the Rings line somewhere.
That's a cool card. I did
A
not
Lord
know
of the
that...
Rings flavor text. Did you
Assassin's
know
Creed.
that the guy actually threw the dagger at Viggo Mortensen and he reacted and hit the dagger out of the air with the sword, and it was so good they left it in the movie? Did you know that? Did you know he really
Speaking-
broke his toe and he kicked the helmet?
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, so this segment we can just call it Justice for Boromir. I got thoughts on the Legacy ban list. A lot of people are saying, like, we should ban Psychic Frog and Vexing Bobble and Nadu, and they're right on 2 or 3. I don't even think Psychic Frog is that good. I'll say it now. I think if you want to actually make these blue-black decks reasonable, you get rid of Entomb. I think that is the actual problem card causing issues. I think the presence of...
I think you did this rant last week.
Right, but I'm elaborating.
Okay.
I got more.
I didn't know if you remembered that you did it last week.
Yeah.
Feel free to... Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like... There's
Cold
like
medicine.
3 tiers of the ban list. There's like the cards that gotta go, the cards that probably need to go, and the cards that have to go because everything else went. Cards that gotta go, for me, Entomb, Vexing Bobble, Nadu.
Real quick, can we just remind everybody that the only reason that we are having this conversation about what card needs to be banned in Legacy is because it'll never be Brainstorm, even when it needs to be?
No, because that's like kind of an argument that I don't care about because Brainstorm is awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever cast Brainstorm, dude? It's like heroin. You should try it.
Me when I'm drawing 3. Yeah, woo, this rules.
It's also-
Me when I'm putting 2 back. Oh.
It's also like, if you wanted Legacy to be as balanced as possible, you'd get rid of like 55 cards before any of the ones I'm mentioning, but at the same time, like... It's kind of sweet that you can play Wasteland and Days together in a format. I think it's cool. The first tier of 3 cards, though, is like Entomb, Vexing Bobble, Nadu, to me. The next tier is like Orcish Bowmasters and Up the Beanstalk. I think that like Beanstalk is not a problem now, but I think if Bowmasters and Entomb go, it becomes a problem. And then the tier beneath that is like Sowing Micah Spawn and the One Ring. And I think the One Ring is like the least offensive card in Legacy of the ones I'm listing. But Micah Spawn being able to go for basics means that like control just can't exist. I don't know. It's like this weird house of cards where everything gets a little bit worse the further you go until everything is good. And I think we're going to see 2 cards banned on the 16th is my guess.
So that was my follow-up, is how far down does the rabbit hole go of needing bans? Is there a tier below One Ring where that's the bet? Like, because that's always the problem, is like how far down do you hammer the nail of like the next deck, predicting the next deck to become good?
Realistically, I think we can just stop after the first 3 cards. We can just do something from Reanimator, Vexing Bauble, and Nadu. I think that's great. I think that like the Bowmaster Beanstalk tier just like kind of doesn't need to have anything done about it, but I think there's a chance at some point they do, because Orcish Bowmasters isn't actually stopping blue decks from doing cantrip stuff. It just goes in blue decks that do cantrip stuff. And Modern's a much tougher nut to crack, because like if you just ban the One Ring, the format's still probably putrid.
That's what Corbin said, I believe it was last week or the week before that, is just like the Modern Horizons 3 just, and energy as a whole is just like so problematic.
Right. I think we could see upwards of like 3 or 4 Modern bans. I don't think we will, but I think we could see it that many. And like if they truly decide to go nuclear on it, right?
Yeah, I mean that ban list is larger now than it ever has been.
Yep.
And like, how many more times do Modern players swing their foot at the Charlie Brown football before just like completely? I mean, like, obviously Wizards can just like force you to play the format if you're going for the Pro Tour, or
right.
like they can force it down your throat however they want. But like, Modern's been in a rough spot for a while.
We failed to fire a Modern local on Sunday for the first time literally ever last weekend.
And there was a Laughing Dragon event in Houston a week ago that had what, like 100 or 200 players, and that was...
It was 111 players.
Yeah, that's...
rough. It was a 20K, by the way. It's good EV.
No amount of money will
How
get
many
people
calories, though? How are you
It's
supposed to
20K
calculate
calories.
EV without telling me how many calories?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens in Modern. If you're listening to the podcast and you're a patron, you're listening as early as the 11th, so 5 days to go. If you're not a patron at patreon.com/BSB, you're listening on Friday, and that's cool too. But you're not giving us money, so I like you less. You'd be 3 days out. Monday the 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific, I believe, is when it drops, or 8 a.m. Pacific, so keep an eye peeled. That is going to be one of the more impactful ban list days we've seen maybe ever.
Well, I find it very hard to make that argument immediately after Mana Crypt, but...
Well, that's Commander, I guess. I didn't think about that. I try not to think about Commander if I can help it.
In terms of competitive formats, I agree. Like, it is a shakeup in multiple... It's going to be a shakeup in multiple areas, and it's going to, like, turn 2025 on its head, for sure.
To me, the Mana Crypt ban day wasn't even like a ban list announcement. It was just like a regime change.
It was a 9/11, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was like totally a different thing to me.
That's fair.
It's time for my shout-out segment where I get paid by people to say things aloud, and sometimes I do it for free if it's fun enough. This week, I just have 2 shout-outs. One, shout-out to Misogynist Nathan. Again, people seem to love shouting out Misogynist Nathan. He does hate women. 2, shout-out to Dark Souls 3. It's a little derivative and uninspired at points, and it's a little too linear for too long, but it's still a Dark Souls game, so it's pretty good.
Plus, it doesn't.
Those are all my
hate
shout-outs
women.
for this week. What's
It's not
that?
a misogynist like that piece of shit, Nathan. So
Yeah, Dark Souls 3, not misogynistic. Dark Souls 3 is actually, if anything, a misandrist. Hates men.
hates men, kills men way more often.
That's true. And you know who makes great t-shirts? Is our friends over at Coalesce Apparel and Design. You can use code Brainstorm Brewery for 5% off at checkout. That's 5% off at checkout. And if they're feeling nice, they might even throw in a boosty. Who's to say?
Or a glass of milk.
Or they're just going to pour a glass of milk into the bag with your shirt, shake it up, and then throw it in the mail. That mold on the house. Anything that grows in there, that's nature's bounty. That's yours to keep.
This t-shirt was black when I ordered it.
You like EV? Because this has 2% more than most shirts.
These shirts are way nicer than most of the other shirts you'll get on the market at the same price point.
Were you saying whey is like as in...
Like W-H-E-Y.
Dairy?
I'm trying here, okay?
You're trying...
Someone's got to be funny on this podcast.
Yeah, we incurred a lot of hate for this one.
Oh, did you say curd? Like curds?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I should have.
And
Oh my god, that's so much better than what I said.
wait, were you? Was that not on purpose?
I said incurred like RRED. Damn.
I thought you were.
Jason, you're being a little cheesy.
I'm being a little cheesy right now.
This podcast is utterly terrible.
Wow.
DJ has a Sego.
I don't know if you call it a Sego, but so last week we talked about the secret like Chaos Vault, whatever that was. And now we know whatever that was. It is a announcement where they will do, it seems to be singular secret lairs. Instead of like dropping a whole bunch of secret lairs at once, they're just putting one at a time out there. I mean, secret lair when it was first announced was also just like this weird thing that we didn't understand. But the secret lair that was announced as a result of this is called the Fairest Drop of All. It only comes in foil. It is $24.99, and it appears to be like a discounted price, some sort of Black Friday thing maybe, but like normally secret lairs are $40 when they're foil. This one's $25, and I think Jason would like it if you haven't seen it yet.
It's two-faced cards, and it's cards I like, but treatments I don't, so...
Steely Resolve is a nice one to get a reprint.
Yeah. Is that the first time that card's been reprinted in forever, maybe?
In foil. I think in foil at the very least. But it might be ever. Onslaught and Secret Lair drop.
Yeah, this is the only reprint of Steely Resolve. Which is a
card that I love this
card in itself, yeah.
Yeah. There was a brief period where, in my head, I was like, I thought Nomad's Encore was a wizard, and I was like, oh my god, we can play this and name wizards so they can't Nadu combo. That doesn't work, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think the Secret Lair is okay. It's fine. You still have to pay for shipping, which is the rough part, because you don't get free shipping on Secret Lairs unless you order a reasonable number of them. So you're really paying like probably $35 after shipping and tax for this. Definitely not an auto buy for sure. So I did get my 20 Ways to Win decks in. The shipping on those was very, very quick. I ordered them, I think, last week. And the alternate art treatments do seem like they're pre-selling very well. At least numbers-wise. I haven't actually sold any yet, but the pricing on them seems high enough. The deck was $165 after shipping and tax, I think, like that. There's a limit of 2 per customer. So our household bought 4 total. And I think the deck is good. I don't think the deck is good playable out of the box, but I think the deck is a good value just because it has commander staples with cute art on it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think all the
Revel
art's
and Riches,
very cute.
Yeah, Revel and Riches, this is the first time it's getting an alternate art printing. I mean, the Soul Ring has infinite different cute-looking ones, but, like, TCG right now for the Soul Ring is, like, 40 or 45, which is roughly $30 cheaper than the Cat Dog double-sided one. Tanukis aren't going to be as popular as Cat Dogs, but still. And then every other card that deck is... I'm only talking about the alt art treatments, is, like, does seem like it would pay for the deck itself if you sold them at the price. Like, Felidar Sovereign's $40. I think that the most affordable alt art card in that deck is like $15, and the deck comes with at least 10 of them. So the deck should very easily pay for itself if you're able to get in and out of it. And then it just comes with a bunch of free cards. I mean, the deck does come with reasonable 5-color staples like the World Tree, like it's got pretty good mana fixing.
How many copies of the Shrine token does it come with?
2.
Ooh. Yeah, those are
It comes
selling
with 2 of the
decently at
shrines.
15.
The foils?
Yeah.
It comes with 2 of the foil shrine tokens, and then it comes with one of the non-foil, like, sliver-looking ones.
Okay.
The colorless old border one, it comes with one of those. And
Wow,
most
this deck is
importantly,
great.
that deck is... Most importantly, that token is single-sided, which means the Roku will be able to handle it better.
True.
Alright, so... We have survived without Corbin long enough, and normally we rely on Corbin for this last part, but I think I can manage to do it. Hey guys, let's go to the pick of the week! Is that a Corbin?
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Was that a decent Corbin?
Yeah, that was really good, man.
Whoa, guys, I'm Corbin. I get into 3 car accidents a year.
Yippee! Call me Traffic Man.
I got
this
auto
is
run
my
fixated by a
Corbin
mountain
voice.
lion.
I sound just like him. I'm from Oklahoma. I live here on purpose. I could leave, but I don't.
All right, my pick of the week is from Crimson Vow, a few years ago, also known as one of the COVID sets of all time. Edgar Markov, Charmed Groom, is a flip vampire that gives all your vampires +1/+1. He's a little annoying to kill forever because he just comes back after a while. And it is trending upwards roughly 20% over the past few days. And I know that because I looked at the graph on MTGstocks.com, which is your best place to look up card prices and figure out which cards are going up and down in price. I personally feel like one of the best uses of it is tracking the median price versus the market price. And when that market price starts to eclipse the median price, that is when you know that people are really willing to pay a premium for something, either via the direct or because the store has multiple copies in stock, or they just have a very big depth of inventory that somebody's like, yeah, I'll pay 6 for Edgar Charmed Groom, that's fine. And so once you see that market price graph start to go higher than the median, that is when you know, I think, to strike the iron is hot. And Edgar Markov, Charmed Groom, has really, really done that lately. The card historically was a standard. Was this card a standard card?
Briefly, kind of.
Okay. Because I was looking at the MTG stocks graph, and it was $6 at one point, and I was like, that has to be the only reason this card spiked. So it has spiked before, which means it can do it again. And I think it'll mostly be due to increased demand from Innistrad Remastered. Innistrad Remastered is coming out next month. It's coming with a very, very fancy version of the original super rare, expensive Edgar Markov, and you can play both of these in your same deck, which means that you'll want to play both. You'll want your headliner showcase cool Edgar Markov, then you'll put this one in the deck, and all your vampire tokens will get +1/+1. Double-faced cards have been historically hard to reprint, not impossible. They used to be, like, impossible to reprint. Nowadays, double-faced cards are just annoying to reprint. They've put them in Secret Lair Commander decks or stuff like that, but definitely not just an all-the-time thing. So we could see this in Innistrad Remastered, maybe, but I think there's a lot other higher priority cards that they wanted. Yeah. Like Bloodline Keeper takes this card slot, I think. So
I think that Innistrad Remastered also is probably going to have a tasteful amount of stuff from the last 2 Innistrad sets, but like really wants to focus on the actual remaster stuff. Like, you know, give us cool versions of OG Innistrad and Shadows. Like, there's got to be a serialized Emrakul or something, right?
Yeah. No, there's not the only serialized card is the headliner card.
That's crazy.
So they're doing a switch to like a headliner card where there's one card in every set for releases where this is the card that gets all the cool versions. It may or may not have a serialized version. But Edgar Markov, period, is the headliner of Innistrad Remaster, which means that it's going to have all the different versions, and it'll have a serialized one, and there won't be as many alternatives for the other cards.
Yeah, the Aetherspark is like confirmed to be serialized out of 500. We have an image mock-up of XXX out of 500 with a blank card. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's the headliner for that set. That's interesting. I got a pick that's a little standard pick. It's about $1. It's trended upwards from being bulk, and it's a Foundations card, and it's Soulstone Sanctuary. A lot of people read this card and they think it's pay for a mana, make it into a 3/3 Vigilance until end of turn. They're wrong. It comes with 3/3 Vigilance, all creature types, forever. It's a demon for your Unholy Annexes. It's a rabbit for your rabbit typal deck that you built with Bloomburrow cards. It is whatever creature type you need it to be, and it is a Stalking Stones at a much better rate. This card's already seeing play in Standard Golgari as an extra demon for Unholy Annex specifically. This card is the kind of card that could be great in a control deck someday if you just need a win condition that closes the game eventually. Somewhere between a Mutavault and the Stalking Stones, and I think that's a pretty good place to be, especially at like $1.
Yeah, no arguments here. It seems very versatile. Feels like it competes with Fountain Port a little bit.
Yeah, it's a weird spot where Fountain Port has 3 years left in Standard. This has 5, but also I think different decks want this card versus Fountain Port. Notably, the Golgari Demons deck stopped playing Fountain Port and started playing these.
Jason?
What? You want my pick of the week?
Yeah.
Is that what the f- you think you're going to get out of me? I'm just going to give you a pick of the week.
You're going to like it.
Well, since we're talking about stuff that's coming out soon, is going to be in Standard forever, we should talk about what's going to be in EDH forever, and that is going to be people getting into Magic for the Marvel stuff. Like, it's out there. People are going to be building Storm a lot. It's the most built deck now. And if you can get Thunderclap Drake from Outlaws of Thunder Junction Commander for under $5, you should. Thunderclap Drake makes your instants and sorcery spells cheaper, but you can also sack it to give your next instant or sorcery a copy for every time you've cast your commander.
This card is just like, Mom, we have Goblin Electromancer, and she's really hot, and she's the next door girl next door. Like,
yeah, this is if Goblin Electromancer was a big-titted MILF that watched you cut the grass and brought oranges to the soccer game. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, Thunderclap Drake is like Stacy's mom. Thunderclap Drake can let you have your stuff come out early, and so you can groom it.
Okay, cut that one, JJ. That one's...
Because it's a Drake. That's what Drakes like to do.
Oh, maybe don't cut that, JJ? Maybe don't cut that, JJ?
I don't know. Drake is suing somebody for a diss track. I don't think I want him coming after our podcast.
Nobody listens to our podcast. We're safe.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, anyway, Thunderclap Drake under $5 is reasonable. That's a f***ed up Magic card. It's going to get played more. Right?
Giving anything Storm is quite good.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
I mean, kind of Storm, but...
There's also the 5-mana 4/4 that actually gives the next thing Storm. I think that card's kind of like in a similar space, but it doesn't have the... Having the cost reduction as your starting point is so good.
Yeah. It also just flies and attacks for 2.
Yeah.
It's a 2/2 for 2 with flying. It's non-trivial. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this card.
One of the things to take away from this episode really is that Magic is kind of in this like holiday lull. I think in a week or so, the WotC people just like take off for the rest of the year. So we can expect not a lot of news. We're going to get the ban list next Monday, and then it's going to be quiet for a while. However, the second of the year, we have our first GP return, the Spotlight Series in Atlanta. So from a quiet couple of weeks, just back roaring to competitive Magic being back, Pro Tour in Chicago in February, I think it's going to be a pretty exciting winter for Magic, all things considered.
I agree. I am very, very excited and like looking forward to 2025 as a year for Magic as a business and a game.
Yeah. As someone who loves competitive play, I'm kind of like pretty thrilled to have something resembling GPs back. I'm 50-50 to be in Atlanta because traveling to Atlanta is always a little scuffed. It's always expensive or difficult, never neither.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in Chicago playing no events because there's no events there for anybody who doesn't want to play Chaos Sealed. And I think that's okay. That's not for me.
I bought Black Lotus VIP and I'm probably not going to use my free event, so you can use mine.
I don't really want to play your free events. Honestly, I kind of just want to like get pizza. I you with a Chicago deep dish.
It's the best casserole.
Would you like to get some casserole with me, Jason?
Yeah, I'm down. Where are we going?
That's a great question. I've never been to Chicago before. You were just there, so I trust your instincts.
Well,
all right.
Don't trust Jason's
Pizzeria
instincts. Uno. Don't trust Jason's instincts. You should ask Grant what kind of milk you need to use for the cheese on that pizza.
Should I use 2% Oberweis milk, or should I use the $9 organic milk? $9 for a gallon of milk? That's all for this week, folks. This has been Brainstorm Brewery. I'm your host, Cass Lynn, joined by DJ, Dougie Johnson, Jason, slightly problematic alt. We'll see you next week.
If you drink a whole gallon of any of these, that is your 2,000 calories for the day. So like $9, feeding yourself on $9 a day or $3 a day?
I feel like that's not nutritionally complete. What the fuck are you talking about, DJ? All I eat is rice and beans and milk.
Just add a potato, you're fine.
Yeah, probably.